Izizemiam Mamadicha Baba Simba Mufasa Zizamba Simba Mufasa. I think this needs to be the intro to the next video. It is set in Africa, parts of it. But today I would like to talk about medical labels. My thoughts on this is that the minute we drop the medical labels and those descriptions we've been given out of like horror movies, whether it was in the medical world or even just from stuff we read on Dr. Google or Facebook groups or whatever it is, that is a huge step towards getting better and healing. And once we start to see all of it for what it is, and that most chronic pain and symptoms are coming from the brain and also our thoughts and like a thought loop that we can shift and change, that is the point at which we can start kind of working towards getting better. And I want that just so badly for everyone or anyone who's going through this stuff. I know that when we're in it, I know that the suffering is so bad. I don't always like to say that to make us feel bad about it when we're in it, but I do like to just acknowledge that I know what you're feeling and going through and how intense it is, to put it very lightly. And I think that should be acknowledged. But the good news is that you can get better, and start to shift those thoughts and the repetitive loops and recognize the OCD that I believe is behind a lot of this, from my perspective. And so, yeah, today we're gonna delve into that just a little bit. I read in this video just parts of my a testimonial that I had written actually initially for wonderful Amanda from the Lightning Process. But I think the testimonial just touches on a lot of what I believe in general about the path towards feeling good again, and getting back to that 100% mentally and physically. And I absolutely believe that anyone can. I am always rooting for you guys. And like I say quite a lot, you're all my heroes, anyone going through this and working to try and overcome it. All right, so I'll leave this part off here. I'm about to go join my mom at the mall, which should be nice. I might go on a run later. It's a beautiful fall day. Went to a pretty fun Halloween party yesterday. That was nice. My cousin's Halloween themed wedding actually last weekend. And just got my Dunkin'. So, all right, everyone. We will continue the video. Also, I tried to wash it, but I think I still had some of my like Chucky makeup on my face, the scars that I painted with eyeliner. I was female Chucky. So if you notice that, please don't judge me. What would you guys do if I just, if I spent the rest of the video just like bursting into tears in a corner? But in case you find it comforting to see or hear one of the labels you were given, here are some of the labels and diagnoses I received. And by the way, I'm just gonna throw this in because when I was really in the loop, if I didn't see one of my like specific labels I was given in a list, then the brain, again, it would become like totally despairing and be like, this doesn't apply to me. So I'm just gonna say, I'm reading out some of like the most common ones I was given or told by people in the medical field, etc. But again, all of these labels, I can think of so many. I feel the same way about all of them. So even if you don't see something you've been told on this list, just know that I believe it likely applies to you as well, or what you've been told. And I know even there you're going to be like, what do you mean it likely applies? It has to apply. Because this loop will feed on that uncertainty. So remember, a big key too is like believing it applies to you. And yeah, all right, so let me continue. I went to sit on a tree stump now because I believe that if you're going to read something important, you should do it sitting on a tree stump. It just feels right. All right, but in case you find it comforting to see one of the labels you're given, here are some of the labels, diagnoses I received. Acid reflux, CRPS, CRPS in the throat, not a thing. I mean, a lot of these, I'm just like, not a thing. Anyways, okay. CRPS in the throat, Eagle's syndrome, esophagitis, I always pronounce it wrong, which is funny because it's the one I heard so often. Glossopharyngeal neuralgia, H. pylori in my system, LPR, Lyme disease, muscle tension dysphonia, neuropathy, post-viral vagal neuropathy, trigeminal neuralgia, and vocal fold paresis. I could go on with this list. So again, just know that it probably applies to you. And I look at all of these and I say, you are not a thing, not a thing. And again, if me saying that triggers anger, that's probably good news, because then that means that sometimes that little like thought loop or ego really wants to cling on. And then the fear that comes is like, if none of these were a thing, why have I been suffering for so long? And then we just go back to, I do believe there's a purpose in intense suffering. As much as that doesn't sound fun, I don't think anyone deserves it. No one should go through what this feels like. But I think at the same time, I really believe it's meant to be a gift, which is the good news. So we're going to continue reading. Okay, and like it's getting dark and I still have these sunglasses on. All right, these labels may have matched my symptoms, but I believe that most chronic symptoms are caused by anxiety, stress, or a fear loop. And for the record, I know that when we're the ones going through it, it is insanely offensive or annoying if people say like, this is just anxiety, because it's torture. Like what we're going through is torture. So I just want to clarify that when I say it like that, know that I know how bad it is. So bad. But the good news is that, like I kind of said, it is a part of for some humans, the human experience. And I think normalizing it and making people see like, oh, this type of suffering is a thing and it's really bad. It's really horrific, but we can overcome it. That's the way I kind of want people to think about it. So anyways, just wanted to add that in. Okay, I'm going to add that this fear loop is not our fault. So this is kind of getting at what I was just saying. It is a very common part of the human experience for many humans. Often, this fear loop can begin from just one scary visit with a doctor or specialist. All you have to do to become well is to simply gain an understanding of this loop and shift your beliefs. And it's funny, I say all you have to do. I should add that I know that in the beginning and for a while sometimes, at least for me, making that change, it takes a lot of work and it's really hard. At least for me, I don't think it has to be. I always say that because I never want someone to have a limiting belief about like how soon they can get well. I think I talk a lot about how hard it was for me to change all of these habits and thought loops and beliefs that had been so ingrained for so long, because a lot of times people think they're doing something wrong if it feels impossible or scary or hard, and it means you're doing something right. It's normal for it to feel hard in the beginning to start changing, but it will start to feel good to kind of create that new identity of like, what do I want to do? Do I want to travel? No matter what you have going on, you could find little things in your day to just kind of start creating joy again. And I think this loop, unfortunately, it causes us to lose that because we think that we can never do a lot of stuff again. It will make us think that like we can't, I don't know, I'll just give examples, eat certain foods or go certain places or travel ever again. And that's so scary. But you can start to shift that little by little and feel better, which is the best news ever. So I went to go to the bathroom, but look what's outside the window. A little lizard hanging out by the toilet.